Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Tuesday, October 20th, 2015, around 3:48 in the afternoon, Belleville, Massachusetts. Mix and sun and clouds today. We got some sprinkles, but it was spitting rain, so didn't amount to too much. It was just like, like a spit on the ground, so it didn't water the lawns and stuff like that. We're still in a deficit for rain, but the leaves are continue to falling down. The foliage is peaking, so get out and enjoy it. Some news to report. Former Red Sox captain Jason Varitek has interviewed for the vacant Seattle Mariners managerial position, and Varitek wants to be a manager one of these days. He has no managerial experience, but who knows if he'll get hired by the Mariners. Scott Boras, the baseball agent, has announced that he has taken an insurance policy on one of his star clients, New York Mets pitcher Matt Harvey, and stuff, just in case if he gets injured and stuff when he's with the Mets and stuff, and he could collect money on that. The Mets have been, and Matt Harvey could be parting his separate ways at the end of the year and stuff, because the Mets have ace pitchers in Jacob deGrom and Noah Syndergaard. They don't need Matt Harvey, not the head case that he is, and also Scott Boras is. And NBC Sports announcer and Major League Baseball Network announcer Bob Costas has agreed to write his autobiography. He's going to be helped out by famous New York Daily News sports writer Mike Lupica. And Bob Costas got this idea because his fellow NBC Sports colleague Al Michaels just wrote an autobiography last year. It was a New York Times bestseller. I bet Bob Costas' autobiography is a New York Times bestseller. He wrote a book in 2000 about a fair case for baseball, which made the New York Best Times seller list. First it's Al Michaels, then it's Bob Costas. What's next? Chris Berman of ESPN writing his autobiography. I know what the title will be. Back, gone! That's about it on that. My second video blog of the day is my preview of the 2015-2016 NBA season predictions. This is my predictions. What's going to happen in the National Basketball Association this upcoming year. 1 week away for the season, which starts Tuesday night, October 27th on TNT doubleheader. Before the games, inside the NBA pregame special with Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. And Marv Albert be calling the games, and the return of Craig Seager on sidelines. And also Kevin Harlan will be calling games as well. And this is the predictions. What's going to happen in the NBA this upcoming season? First, the Eastern Conference. There's a new playoff format in the NBA. The top 8 teams with records, regardless of divisions, get the top 8 seeds and stuff. Before, if you were a division winner, you were guaranteed a top 4 spot for each conference. But if you have the 6th, 7th, or 8th best record, a division winner, you'll be seeded then. And there's only a 5% chance they could have a 9th. They could have the 9th place record, and they'll miss the playoffs entirely. But that's a 5% chance. I don't see that happening and stuff. And here's my predictions. Finishing in first place in the Eastern Conference and finishing first in the Central Division, Cleveland Cavaliers. They got the best player on the planet, LeBron James. Second place in the Eastern Conference will be the Chicago Bulls. They'll finish second in the Central Division. They got Derrick Rose, Joey Noah, and Paul Gasol, plus a great supporting cast. I think they have the second best team in the conference and stuff. Third team, this is going to surprise many. I think the Milwaukee Bucks will be this year's Atlanta Hawks, having a awesome regular season and stuff. Too bad they play in the same division as the Cavaliers and the Bulls, because if they were playing in another division, they probably could get a top seed, in my opinion. But they're going to have the number 3 seed in the East and the 3rd best record in the Central Division. Number 4 seed will be the Miami Heat. They'll win the Southeast Division and stuff. Miami has Chris Bosh back. They still have pieces like Dwayne Wade, even though he's washed up, and a few others and stuff. So I think this is going to be a bounce-back year for Miami. They'll win the Southeast Division. The fifth place in the Eastern Conference, finishing first in the Atlantic, is the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics are a hard-working team and stuff. And they got some good players like Marcus Smart, Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, and a few others. I think Brad Stevens is going to get the most out of his team. I wouldn't be shocked if they get pushing 50 wins, in my humble opinion. The sixth place team for the Eastern Conference is the Washington Wizards. They'll be finishing second in the Southeastern Division. And the Washington Wizards are good. They could be a dark horse team in the Eastern Conference this year. Seventh place this year for the Eastern Conference will be the Atlanta Hawks. They'll be finishing third in the Southeast Division and stuff. The Atlanta Hawks, many of their players had career years and stuff. They finished first in conference last year, but I think that was a little bit fluky in my humble opinion. They're going to come back down to earth, and they could be coming back down to earth in a big way, in my humble opinion and stuff, but they'll somehow make the playoffs and stuff. I think, like the Atlanta Hawks, the past many years were like the forever 500 Whalers of the former national. They used to be the hockey team, Hartford Whalers. They were good to make the playoffs, but they weren't supposed to make a long run. I think Atlanta's bound for like a disappointment, but they'll make the playoffs, third in the Southeastern Division. The eighth and final playoff spot will be the Toronto Raptors, finishing second in the Atlantic Division. Raptors have probably peaked out, in my opinion, and stuff. A lot of people were saying they could have been a dark horse for the NBA's Eastern Conference Championship, but they've lost too many players, and I think they're regressing and stuff. And the rest of the field looks like this. The ninth place team, just barely finishing out the playoffs. Indiana Pacers, fourth in the Central Division. I think they have some talent, but I don't think they'll get it done, in my opinion. 10th place, Brooklyn Nets. They'll finish third in the Atlantic. The Brooklyn Nets are regressing and stuff. Could be a major rebuild for them. 11th place, fourth in the Southeastern Division, Charlotte Hornets. They're a team that's kind of rebuilding, in my humble opinion. 12th place, fifth in the Central, Detroit Pistons. A lot of people were saying they were a dark horse to make the playoffs last year, but they continue to regress and stuff. So I think it's going to be another long season for Detroit. 13th place, fifth in the Southeastern Division, Orlando Magic. They're building something, but it's going to take a long time. 14th place, fourth in the Atlantic Division, New York Knicks. It's going to be a long rebuilding process for the Knicks. I think Carmelo Anthony really wants out. And 15th place, fifth in the Atlantic Division, the 76ers. They're nowhere near a playoff team and stuff. They'll be lucky to win 15 to 20 games, in my humble opinion. And now the Western Conference, which is a stacked conference. First place in the Western Conference this year is going to be the San Antonio Spurs. They'll finish first in Southwestern Division. San Antonio has Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Manuel Ginobili. They got Kawhi Leonard. They signed LaMarcus Aldridge to a contract. Leonard and Aldridge are going to be the next stars of the Spurs when the big three of the Spurs retire. I think they're going to win the Southwestern Conference and be the first seed out west, and they'll probably have the NBA's backup record, in my humble opinion. Second place will be the Golden State Warriors, the defending Western Conference champions. I think they first in the Pacific. They have Stephen Curry and a lot of other great players, and I think this going to be a top team in the NBA again this year. Third place and second in the Pacific Division, the LA Clippers. They still got Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. They added Paul Pierce and a few others, Lance Stevenson. I think they're going to make one last run to get an NBA championship before they'll have to break up the team if they lose again. And Doc Rivers will be showing the door if that happens. Fourth place, second in the Southwest, Memphis Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies are another one of these teams that could be a dark horse to be the upper echelon every year. They're getting better and better and stuff. And this could be the year they could break out of it and maybe get a top 3 seed. but I have them for fourth right now. Fifth place and first in the Northwest Division, Oklahoma City Thunder. Durant's back, Westbrook's back. They have a new coach, Billy Donovan. They're the best team in the Northwest Division, but I still have them in fifth place. This could be the last year of Durant. They have to go on a deep playoff run to convince Durant to stay long-term in Oklahoma City, because if he leaves, Russell Westbrook's going to leave it the next year afterwards, 2017, and then the Thunder will probably be majorly rebuilding for many years. The sixth place team in the Western Conference and third in the Southwestern Division this year will be the Houston Rockets. Houston still has the core of James Harden and Dwight Howard and a few others, but I think they had career years with James Harden. I don't think he might have a good year again, and the Western Conference is stacked, so sixth place is the best that the Rockets are going to do. Seventh place is the New Orleans Pelicans, which will finish fourth in the Southwest Division. Anthony Davis is probably the next big star in the NBA, and I think the Pelicans could surprise a lot of people. Number 8 and second in the Northwest Division is the Utah Jazz. I think the Utah Jazz is a sleeper team that could be ready to make the playoffs this year. They have good talent and stuff. And that's the playoff teams in the Western Conference. Here's the rest, which will be out of the playoffs. Ninth placed in the Western Conference will be the Dallas Mavericks. They'll be finishing fifth in the Southwest Division, last place. If the Dallas Mavericks were in the Eastern Conference, they probably get the last playoff seed. And Dirk Nowitzki's probably gone after this year. They are just aging, in my humble opinion. It could be the last year for Rick Carlisle as coach. Mark Cuban probably might fire him, but Mark Cuban has so much money, he's probably going to make a big splash in 2016 to get major free agents for the Mavericks to be a contender again because of the television contracts. Number 10 on this list, third place in the Pacific Division, Phoenix Suns. They're slipping and stuff. They're regressing, and I think they're going to be out of the playoffs. The 11th place team in the Western Conference this year, and fourth in the Pacific Division will be the Sacramento Kings. The Kings might be building something with DeMarcus Cousins, and I think Rondo Lodge is going to have a big comeback year. They could be flirting with 500, in my opinion. 12th place in this conference and fourth in the Northwest Division will be the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota Timberwolves building something, but they're a few years from serious playoff contention. They'll finish in third place in the Northwest Division. The 13th place team, fourth in the Northwest Division, will be the Denver Nuggets. And Denver Nuggets are sliding back. They could be one of the worst teams in the NBA this year. 14th place team and fifth in the Pacific Division, the LA Lakers. I think this is it for Kobe Bryant. He's frequently injured. The Lakers are maybe a couple of years away from serious playoff contention. May wait for this television contract, the new one, to get more money, to entice free agents to come. And I think that's another rebuilding year. And the 15th place team and fifth in the Northwest Division, the Portland Trail Blazers. They lost LaMarcus Aldridge, and they are tearing the team down and could have one of the worst records in the NBA this year. And now this is what's going to happen in the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals. It will be the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the Chicago Bulls. And the NBA's Western Conference Finals will be the San Antonio Spurs beating the Los Angeles Clippers. And the NBA Finals will be the San Antonio Spurs beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. Will be the last championship for Tim Duncan and like Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. I think all three of them retire. Also, Greg Popovich will retire after they win another NBA championship. The NBA's MVP is probably going to go to LeBron James again. He's going to win, barring a major injury. And the coach of the year for the NBA will be Brad Stevens of the Boston Celtics. 50 wins, baby. The Celtics will have 50 wins. And the rookie of the year will be Earl Anthony Towns of the T-Wolves. This will be the second year in a row that the Minnesota Timberwolves will have the rookie of the year. He was the #1 draft pick in the 2015 NBA draft, and I tell you that Minnesota Timberwolves are building something with Wiggins and Towns. They're going to be probably the next big team in the NBA to scare a lot of people. That's about it on that. the final video blog's coming. It will be about personality profile, Kevin Love, power forward center of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Button guy. Julie brought in new 6 rocks and nice legs. Elizabeth Hart, so stunning. She has nice legs as well. Molly Rosenblatt's the best. And in the words of Sean Lucha, get out! See you later!